Chapter 6. The Story of Narasāvadhāni. Next day, after finishing meditation and worship, Tirumala Das began to narrate. Sir, Sripada Srivallabha is the origin for everything that is movable and immovable in creation. He is like a banyan tree. His partial incarnations are like its hanging roots. The roots grow down from the branches at the banyan tree. Though appearing to have an independent nature, their base is the banyan tree only. He is the source and refuge of all, from gods and demons to all living beings. All forces emanate from him and again they merge in him. For a person who reaches the peak of mountain, all paths appear the same. In the same way, people of different traditions find synthesis in the philosophy of Datta. All beings are surrounded by an aura. When I was in Pitikapuram, a yogi came there. He was indicating how much aura was around a particular statue or how long the, the aura of a particular person was and in which particular color the aura extended. He visited Sri Kukuteshwar temple and wanted to test the length and the color of the aura of the self-manifested Datta. He had the vision of Sripada Srivallabha in the place of Swayambhu Datta. Profuse white light resembling lightnings spread around his head. Encircling this white light, a blue light was visible, spreading in all directions. That divine personage said to the yogi, My dear, you are wasting valuable time in mad pursuits to reckon the lengthwise expansion of the subtle bodies of others. First, you think about yourself. Death is imminent to you in a few days. So think of the ways to get salvation. Verily, I am Datta, who is the origin of all doctrines and all truths. When great siddhas, great sages, and great devotees invited me with love, I incarnated in this Kali Yuga in Padagaya Kshetra. On hearing the teachings of Swami, old tendencies of the yogis got extinguished. His power of knowing the aura of the subtle body merged completely in Srivallabha. Later, he had darshan of Sripada Srivallabha in his house and got blessed. The yogi said, the pure white light spread around Sripada indicates that Srivallabha is very pure and is a complete yoga avatar. The blue light shows that he is filled with infinite love and mercy. After the yogi left, an interesting discussion took place. How should the division of four castes be divided? Is it according to the differences in the aura of subtle bodies? Or is it according to the consideration of caste and gotra? Which caste is eligible for the Upanayanam ritual according to the method described in Vedas? Which caste is eligible for Upanayam according to the method described in Puranas? Is Upanayanam related to the third eye located in the center of the eyebrows? Or is it some other special thing? What is Med Janam? Such discussion continued very heatedly. The Pandits could not arrive at an unanimous opinion. Sri Maladi Bapana Vadanlu, famous as a true saint, said the president of the Brahmin Society of Pitikapuram. He was also called Bappa Narayalu. He was mainly worshipped sun and fire. He was invited to preside over a sacrifice that took place at Pitikapuram. At the end of the sacrifice, there was torrential rain. All people were elated. Sri Vasavasvai Narasimha Varma, a Kshatriya, requested Sri Bapanavadanalu to reside in their village. He refused Sri Varma's offer. Sri Bapanaralu used to accept only the honorary remunerations given during sacrificial rites. If that money was tainted, he was not accepting it. Sri Varma had a Kapila cow. He was very fond of it. Its name was Gayatri. That cow was giving abundant milk. It was very gentle in nature. Sri Varma came to know that Gayatri was missing. Sri Varma questioned Bapana Rayalu, who was an astrological pandit, about the cow. Sri Bapana Rayalu disclosed that the cow was with Khan Sire, a butcher in Shamalambapuram. He also said that one should immediately go there and recover the missing cow since it would be killed. When sending a person to Shamalambapuram, Sri Varma laid a condition to Bapanaryalu that if Gayatri could come back according to the words of Sri Bapanavadanu, he had to accept 3 Putulu land and a good house as the gifts to the Pandit. Bapanarayalu was in dilemma. If he would not accept the gift, Shivarma would allow the cow to be killed. Then the sin of killing a cow would fall upon him. He thought that accepting the gift was better than becoming exposed to the sin of cow slaughter. Gayatri was rescued. The residents of Pitikapuram were fortunate. Sri Bapanavadanalu became the owner of a land and he also received as a gift a house for living. Sri Bapanavadanalu had a son by the name of Venkavadani and a daughter by the name of Sumati. The horoscope of Sumati had all auspicious features and her gait resembled the royal walk of an empress. So she was named as Sumati Maharani. The name and fame of Sri Bapanaralu spread in all directions. A Brahmin boy named Appala Lakshmi Narasimha Raja Sharma with the surname Gandhi Kota came to Pitikapuram from Ayanavali, a village in Godavari region. He hailed from the lineage of Sage Bharadwaj, Appastamba Sutra, and belonged to Velanati Vedika sect. There was the idol of Kalagni Shamana Datta in his house. During the time of worship, that idol was talking to Raja Sharma and was giving him instructions. Appala Raja Sharma lost his parents in his childhood. One day, while worshipping, Kalagni Shamana directed Raja Sharma to complete his education under the guidance of Maladi Bapanavadani belonging to Haritasa Gotra. Apastambha Sutra and Vedika Velanti sect. So Raja Sharma came to Pitikapuram. As per Datta's order, Sri Bapanarayalu provided boarding facilities in his house to Raja Sharma, who came to him as a student. He did not allow Raja Sharma to beg for food in various houses. Sri Bapanarayalu used to worship Lord Shiva during the time of Shani Pradosh. The ladies of the house were performing religious ceremonies to Lord Shiva during the time of Shani Pradosh. In ancient times, Nanda and Yashoda performed worship of Shiva during the time of Shani Pradosh. As a result, they were blessed with the fortune of bringing up Sri Krishna. Sri Narasimha Varma, Sri Pendya Venkatappa Shrestri, and some other prominent Vaishyas were participating unfailingly in the worship of Shiva along with Sri Bapanarya. The voice that came from Sri Kukuteshwar Shivalingam, the marriage of Sumati and Appal Raja, was during the Shani Pradosh time. After the worship of Lord Shiva, a brilliant electric luster beamed from Sri Kukateshwar Shivalingam. Then a profound voice was heard saying, "My dear Bapanarya, give your daughter Sumati Maharani in marriage to Appal Raja Sharma without any hesitation. It will be beneficial to the universe. No individual in this animate or inanimate creation has any authority to violate this great decision. This is the decision of Lord Datta." This voice was heard by Pendya Venkatapaya Shrestri, Narasimha Verma, and all those who were present. All of them were astonished. Information was sent to relatives, Keith and kin of Raja Sharma in Ayanavali. The marriage of Raja Sharma with Sumati Maharani was decided. It was regrettable matter that Radha Sharma did not even have a house. Sripenda Venkatapaya Shrestri said that he had many houses and that he would offer one of them to Raja Sharma. However, Raja Sharma would not accept any donation. Shrestri spoke with Raja Sharma's relatives and arranged for the evaluation of the worth of that part of the house in Ayanavali that Raja Sharma would own as an inheritor. It was valued as worth one varaha. The house of Shrestri was valued at a minimum of 12 varahas. Raja Sharma expressed his inability to pay the difference of 11 varahas. Then Shrestri started that he would sell his house to Raja Sharma for one varaha only. Shrestri said, "If you object to take the house as a gift, you take the house by paying one varaha." All of them agreed that what Shrestri said was in accordance with the Dharma. The marriage of Sumati Maharani and Appala Lakshmi Narasimha Raja Sharma took place amid the chanting of Vedas by great Vedic scholars. The marriage was conducted in a grand manner with the accompaniment of auspicious melodies from musical instruments. The incarnation of Sripada Srivallabha came to dispel the darkness of ignorance. He arrived to remove the limping progress of people in physical and spiritual matters. Therefore, Lord Datta commanded the deity of time and the deity of action. In pursuance of his command, a blind boy representing gloomy ignorance and a lame boy representing the halting progress in worldly and supra-worldly spheres were born to Raja Sharma. Sumati and Raja Sharma were greatly dismayed that their two children were disabled. There is a famous Vigneshwara temple in Ayanavali. Once their relatives brought the holy offering of the Lord Vigneshwara to Pitikapuram. Sumati and Raja Sharma received the Mahaprasad. On that night, Sumati Maharani had the darshan of Iravata in a dream. Over the next few days, a conch, a wheel, a mace, a lotus, a trident, various deities, sages, siddhas, yogis, and other similar holy persons appeared in her dreams. After a few days, she experienced divine revelations even in her wakeful state. Upon closing her eyes, yogis in samadhi and munis with divine glows and different lights were giving darshan like figures on a screen. When Sumti Maharani consulted her father, Papanarya, he said that all those signs indicate the birth of a great person with complete auspicious features. The uncle of Sumati Maharani, Sridhar, said, "Sumati, there is a relationship between Vishakha, the birth star of Ravi, and the incarnation of Sri Rama. Similarly, there is relation relationship between Kritika, the birth star of Chandra, and the incarnation of Sri Krishna. There is a relationship between the planet Mars, born in Purvashada star, and the incarnation of Sri Lakshmi Narasimha. There is a relationship between the planet Buddha, born in Shravana star, and the incarnation of Buddha. There is a relationship between the planet Jupiter, born in Purva Falguni star, and the incarnation of Vishnu. There is a relationship between the planet Venus, born in Pushyami star, and the incarnation of Bhargava Rama. There is a relationship between the planet Saturn, born in Revati star, and the incarnation of Kurma. There is a relationship between the planet Rahu, born in Bharni star, and the incarnation of Varaha. And there is a relationship between the planet Ketu, born in Ashlesha star, and the incarnation of Matsya. The time you asked me was a time of divine secrecy. I presume that Lord Datta, who controls the existence and fate of crores and crores of planets, stars, and great universes, may himself be born. Lord Datta's grand opulence. Sumati Maharani told this to Raja Sharma. Raja Sharma said that he would ask Kalagni Shamana Datta himself during the time of worship. It was a rule that during the worship of Kalagni Shamana, no other person should see. At the end of the worship, Datta would come in a human form, sit in front of Radha Sharma and talk to him. Datta would later merge into the idol. This used to happen daily. Radha Sharma did not submit petty matters or selfish problems to Datta. That day, during the time of worship, Datta appeared very pleased. After the worship, Datta sat before Raja Sharma. He called, "Come, Sridhara," and a form emerged from Datta and sat immersed in meditation in front of him. Datta again made a sign with his finger and called, "Come, Sridhara." Immediately, that form merged in Datta. Radha Sharma was wondering at this. Lord Datta told Radha Sharma, "The form you have just seen is one of my partial manifestations that will come in the ensuing years. Whenever I call, even the liberated souls who merge in me have to come out immediately. When I order to depart, they should disappear at once. My sportive excellence is not just limited to the earth. All the globes in the universe are play balls in my hands. If I kick once with my leg, one is thrown away billions of miles. I am beyond birth and death." Saying so, he touched the center in the between the eyebrows of Raja Sharma. Immediately, it dawned upon Raja Sharma that he was born as Vishnu Datta in one of the yugas, and his wife was born as Somi Devama, also called Sushila. He remembered that all the past. Tridatta said, "When I appeared before you in that yuga, I told you to ask for any boon. You could not ask a proper boon. You invited me to your house for partaking meals on the day of ceremony of your ancestors. I took meals along with the sun and fire gods and thereby gave a permanent residence status in Brahmalok to your forefathers. I want to incarnate as Sripada Srivallabha. For the last 100 years, I have been giving my darshan as Sripada Srivallabha to yogis and great people on this earth. In Treta Yuga, sage Bharadwaj conducted Savitri Kathaka Chayanam sacrifice in Pitikapura. The holy ashes of the sacrificial fire formed into huge mountains. Hanuman carried those ashes to heaven, earth, and Patala worlds. In Martya Loka, those ashes were thrown in Dronagiri of the Himalayan region and in some other regions. While Hanuman was carrying those ashes, one small piece fell in Gandharvanagar. Gandharvanagar is the holy confluence of Bhima and Amarja rivers. After retracing my incarnation as Sripada Srivallabha, I will be born as Narasimha Saraswati in Meena Lagna. I will display many miracles in Gandharvanagar and will remain for 300 years in Tapo Samadhi in the Ka- Kardadivan of Srishailya. After that, I will live in Prajanapura with the name of Swami Samartha and will leave my mortal body when Saturn enters Meena Rashi. Raja Sharma explained to his wife the announcement of Lord Datta. Papanarelu, the Satya Rishivar, said, "My dear Raja Sharma, you are a meritorious person who offered meals during the annual ceremony of your ancestors to Lord Datta, the sun god and fire god in the ancient times. Datta in any form may ask for meals during this birth. Even if that happens to be a day of ceremony in memory of the means, and even if the revered guests have not taken meals, offer meals to Datta when he asks without any hesitation. My dear Sumati, please keep a note of these things carefully. Shankar Bhatt, the Leelas of Lord Datta are unprecedented, unthinkable, and unheard of so far. The birth of Sripada Srivallabha. On a Mahalaya Amavasya day, Radha Sharma was making arrangements for the ceremony of his ancestors. Then a cry of supplication, Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi, was heard at the entrance of the house in the street. Sumati Maharani gave arm to the Avduta. He told her to request for any boon. Sumati said to the Avduta, "Sir, you are an Avduta. Your words are self fulfilling ones. Elders are saying that the incarnation of Sripada Srivallabha will be attracted towards the earth very shortly. In what form is Lord Datta moving now? It is heard that Lord Datta is moving on this earth from the last 100 years. You told me to ask for any wish. I have a desire to see the form of Sripada Srivallabha." On hearing those words, the Avduta broke into a roaring laughter that shook the worlds. Sumati Maharani felt that the whole universe in her vicinity disappeared in a trice. A 16-year-old, good looking boy in the attire of a sage appeared before her and said, "Mother, I am Sripada Srivallabha. I am Datta. You wanted me to show you Srivallabha in the Avduta form? To satisfy your desire, I am giving you the vision of Srivallabha. You can ask me for anything in this Srivallabha form of mine. You gave me food. In return, I want to grant some boon. People of this world who do sinful acts intentionally will derive bad results. If good deeds are done intentionally, good results will be achieved. Performing good deeds without any desire is called akarma. For akarma, one should be given another result without taking into account the merit or sin. That is under the control of God. Sri Krishna told Arjuna to kill the Kauravas because he did akarma. Arjuna did not get sin for such killings. The killing of the Kauravas was a divine decision. You and your husband did a lot of akarma. Therefore, something has to be given to you for the welfare of the world. Express your wish without any hesitation. I will definitely grant it. The desire of Sumati Maharani after the vision of Lord Datta. Sumati Maharani saw the supernal auspicious figure of Sripada Srivallabha and fell on his feet and paid obeisance. Sripada Srivallabha lifted Sumati Maharani from the ground and said, "Mother, It is a ludicrous matter that a mother should fall on the feet of a child. It diminishes the lifespan of the child also. Then Sumati submitted. Lord Shripa Shivallabh, you called me mother. So you agree that I am the mother. You are my child. Your words come true. So make that word true. You should take birth as our son. Then Sri Charan spoke thus. May it be so. I will be born in the same form of Shripa Shivallabh, which you witness now. A mother falling on the feet of the child results in the diminution of the lifespan of the child. I will not violate the principles of righteous conduct and destiny. Therefore, I will live for only 16 years as your child. For that Sumati began to lament. Oh, what an offense has happened. Is the life only for 16 years? Then Shripada said, Mother, I will follow whatever you say for 16 years as your son. After 16 years, a boy has to be regarded as a friend and no restrictions should be imposed. You should not compel me to marry. You must give permission to me to become an ascetic and wander freely. If you coerce me against my intent, I will not remain in your house. After saying that, Shripada quickly left the place. Sumati Maharani was dumbfounded for some time. She explained to her husband all that transpired. Appal Raja Sharma said, Sumati, don't grieve. Your father has already hinted that Sridatta would visit our house seeking alms in this fashion. Sridatta is an ocean of mercy. Let the birth of Shripa Shivallabh take place. Afterwards, we may think about other things. The news that an Avduta visited the house of Appal Raja Sharma spread in the town. It was discussed that alms was offered to an Avduta even before the Brahmins took their meals on the day of Mahalaya Amavasya, which was of utmost importance to the beings. Sri Bapanavadanalu said, the birth of Shripa Shivala is known to all. To prostrate before an Avduta is also proper. So there is no lapse on the part of Sumati. To prostrate before a child may shrink the lifespan, but to prostrate before an Avduta is not wrong. The Brahmins of Pitikapuram were very jealous about this matter. One scholar among them, known as Narasāvadhāni, was highly envious. On Amavasya day, all people would be busy in performing commemorative ceremonies of their forefathers. It became a difficult problem to procure Brahmin guests for the ritualistic feast. However, Bapanaralu said that no difficulty would arise in the house of Appal Raja Sharma. Sri Raja Sharma was in meditation of Kalagni Shamana. In the meanwhile, three guests arrived. The commemorative function of the forefathers was conducted without any obstacle. My dear Shankar Bhatt, on that particular day, it became an important debatable point whether Vaishyas have the authority for a Vedic sacred thread ceremony. The Council of Brahmins was assembled. A scholar named Ashutosh of Navadvip from Bengal came to Padagaya Kshetra. He had old Nadi books with him. He was also invited to the Council of Pandits. Sri Bapanarelu said that in spiritual discipline, Brahmins, Vaishyas, and Kshatriyas stand on an equal footing. Therefore, according to the ancient Dharma, Vedic Upanayan was admissible to those castes. For others, Upanayanam in the Puranic tradition could be performed if they so desire. Caste, gender, and age are no impediments for attaining wisdom. There were Vaishya sages in Siddhas and a Vaishya sage named Labda became a Siddha by the grace of Lord Datta. A man would derive benefits in all endeavors if the grace of Labhada Maharshi is available. Sri Bapanarya's decision was acclaimed by all. However, this decision became painful to a Pandit known as Narasāvadhāni. He was an adept in dogmatic argument. He was a devotee of goddess Bagalamukhi. He worshipped that goddess every day. He would wash his face before a commencement of arguments. He would chant the incantation of Bagalmukhi. Then he would proceed to argue. It was difficult to defeat him at that time. Sri Bapanarayalu was a pious one who recited Gayatri Mantra many crores of times. Both of them never indulged in a confrontation during arguments. Narasvadhani washed his face and meditated upon the mantra. Sripada Srivallabha had a very close relation with his maternal grandfather from a very young age. So he was accompanying his grandfather to the assembly of Brahmins. No one was obstructed that charming young boy. That day, Narasvadhani felt uneasy with the presence of Shivalla in the meeting. Narasvadhani thought it was wrong for a young lad to attend a conference of great scholars. Before commencing arguments, after reciting Bagalmukhi mantra, he questioned Sripada as to why he came there. For that, Sripada replied, Granddad, it is not proper to attend uninvited. Since you called me in the prescribed systematic manner, I came. I will go if you ask me to go. What is it for me? I do not care. I am a small boy and a free person. Naraswadhani thundered that Sripada should leave. Sri Raja Sharma took his son away. Naraswadhani, who wanted to start arguments, could not speak. In spite of a great effort, no word came out of his mouth. Ashutosh, who was watching all this, laughed hilariously. The decision of Bapa Narelu was carried out in the meeting. Vedic Upanayanam was prescribed for Vaishyas. There was a discussion about the Nadi books available with Ashutosh, and it was suggested in the Nadi books that the birth time of Shripa Shrivalabh should be calculated during according to the mathematical formulae given in the Sandra Sindhu Veda. It was determined that Shripada was born in the early hours of Ganesh Chaturthi in Chitra star, in Simha Lagna and Tula Rashi. It was mentioned that Sripad was an incarnation of Sri Datta, and as his feet were marked with all auspicious features, he bears a worthy name as Sripa Shivala. It was further noted that his horoscope should not be given to anyone and that it will reach in course of time through Akshay Kumar of Tripura belonging to the Jain religion. All that would happen according to the divine plan and it would reach Pitikapuram as a part of the divine play. Ashutosh went to the house of Sripa Srivallabh to see him. Srivallabh said, Today's star is Chitra. I am very much pleased if anyone worships me on the day of my birth star. You came with pure devotion, so I am blessing you. Ask for anything you desire. Then Ashutosh said, Lord, I learned that Naraswadhani is a devotee of Bagalmukhi. I thought of having a vision of Ambika through his assistance. My desire became a hope in vain. I understood that Ambika was furious with him. Shripada immediately said, I am verily that Ambika whom he is worshipping. Ambika, who was with the subtle body of Naraswadhani, until then merged in me, the moment he asked me to leave, I am the personification of all gods and goddesses. Have the fortune of Ambika Darshan. Saying so, he appeared as a Bagalamukhi before Ashutosh. Fully satisfied, Ashutosh left for Peninsula Kona. He reached the land of penance of Kanva Maharshi in the forest of Penchala, Kona, as per the instructions of Shripada. Shripada told him that he would be born in Maharashtra in Sanai branch of sage Kanva. He added that he will bless him when he incarnates again and that he will be one among his chief disciples who will witness all the extraordinary miracles as a treat for his eyes. Sripada asked him to travel immediately. Wonderful sights seen at the time of Sripada's birth. Then I said thus, Sir, please narrate some more miracles of Sripada witnessed by you and make me blessed. Then Tirumala Das began. Shankar Bhatt, Narasāvadhāni was enraged with Bapa Naralu. He wanted to insult him somehow or other. He thought that Bapa Naralu was responsible for him to lose favor with the deity Baglamukhi. He propagated that Bapanaralu nullified his efficiency of that mantra through some tantric application. He was much more troubled about the details relating to the incarnation of Srivallabha. He argued that the Nadi books were unreliable and that it was sacrilege on the part of Bapanaralu to offer food to a fish eating Bengali Brahmin. He further argued that no man can be an incarnation of Purna Brahma and that a young lad like Sripada cannot be Lord Datta, who is omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. He mischievously misrepresented the supranormal activities of Sripada, who was uttering Pranava, Om, from his infancy, who was speaking from about scriptures in Sanskrit even when he was rollicking in the cradle, who was exhibiting extraordinary intelligence disproportionate to his age. Narasāvadhāni spread rumors that a Brahmin Vedic scholar who died took shelter in the body of the boy and therefore was speaking in this unnatural way. He maintained that the self-manifested Datta in the Sri Kukuteshwar temple was the real benefactor and that it was wrong to treat the boy as Datta. When Sripada Srivallabha was born, a cobra with three hoods held its hood as an umbrella for Sripada. Wherever he was kept for 18 days, he came out of the mother's womb as a dazzling illumination. Sumati Maharani fainted immediately after he was born. Auspicious musical notes from musical instruments were heard from the labor room. After some time, an invisible voice warned all people to leave the room. Four Vedas, 18 Puranas, great persons arrived in the shape of brilliant lights to greet Shripada. Sacred Vedic mantras were heard outside the room. Silence spread after some time. This astonishing incident was perplexing and beyond comprehension even to Bapanaryalu, the sportive place of Shripada's childhood. A year elapsed. Since the birth of Sripada Srivallabha, he started attending the conferences of scholars along with his grandfather Sri Bapanarya, even when he was a child of few months' age. Sri Charan used to walk freely, deliver discourses on scriptures, and perform wonderful miracles even when he was a boy of few months' age. The residents of Pitikapuram were thinking that a great scholar who died entered into the boy and was performing all these miracles. They were also thinking that Bapanarya and Raja Sharma were wrongly considering him as an incarnation of Datta without giving proper medical treatment to the boy, and that was not acceptable. Matter. As Pitikapuram is Padagaya Kshetra, an important Kshetra for the departed ancestors, and as there were some tantrics who could speak with dead souls resided in Pitikapuram, such arguments gained strength. As I came from Malayadripuram, I was washing the clothes in the houses of Sri Bapanarya and Sri Raja Sharma. The washerman who was washing the clothes in the house of Narasāvadhāni died due to the old age. He had one son who migrated to Konkanadam called Vaisapura, a Graham. Therefore, I was engaged to wash the clothes in the house of Narasvadhani. Since I was attached to the family of Sri Bapanaya from my childhood, I gradually changed to be a person having a spacious will. The flame of spiritualism glowed in me. Instead of personally washing the clothes of Sri Narasvadhani, I entrusted the work of to my eldest son Ravida. If I saw Narasvadhani on any day, I used to get disturbance in my stomach, and I was not in a position even to eat food on that day. I was able to wash the clothes of only those families who had auspicious desire. The divine grace of Sripada on Tirumala Das. Ravidas is my eldest son born to my first wife. Instead of washing Naraswadhani's clothes myself, I was getting the clothes of Naraswadhani washed by Ravidas. Narasavadhani somehow came to know about it. He ordered me to wash his clothes. Orders of elders are to be compiled with. I washed the clothes while recollecting the name of Shripada. Ravidas took them to the house of Naraswadhani. Strangely, Naraswadhani felt as if scorpions and poisonous centipedes crawled on his body when he wore the washed clothes. However, there was no effect on other members of his family. Naraswadhani was troubled as if his body was put on burning fire. The clothes were like apples of fire for him. He sent word for me. He told me that I introduced some evil spirit in his clothes through witchcraft and that I would be punished for this heinous act. He lodged a complaint with the officer. The judicial officer decided that I was innocent. My dear Shankar Bhatt, the plays of Sripada are unthinkable. After I returned home from the judicial officer, Sripada came to our house as a fresh young person of 16 years. From the time of his birth, Sripada was appearing to his devotees according to his chosen age. All of this appears quite natural to those who are acquainted with the sportive plays of Sripada. With utter excited amazement, I submitted, Sir, you are born in a superior Brahmin caste. It is not good for you to come to the colony of washermen. For that, Shripada replied, Who do you think Naraswadhani is? He is a washerman carrying a load of sin on his head comparable to a washerman's bundle, whereas you are a washerman yearning for the knowledge of the Absolute. Hence, you are a superior Brahmin. Therefore, it is not unreasonable for me to come here. Then I fell on the feet of Shripada and sobbed. Seeing me with his ambrosial looks, he lifted me from the ground with his divine hands. He kept his divine hands on my head. Then my entire past life came to my memory. The yogic forces in me reached a state of momentum. The Kundalini Shakti was activated. Shripada disappeared quietly with slow steps. Naraswadhani was growing Thotukura in his house. The Thotukura in his house was very tasty. He was not giving the vegetable to anyone even after their strong pleadings. Only when he was expecting great return from anyone, he was giving that thotukura to that person. Sripada requested his mother to cook thotukura curry. He asked her to collect the vegetable only from the house of Narasāvadhāni. This appeared as an impossible thing. His grandfather, Bapa Narayalu, said, "My dear Sripada, tomorrow morning you better request Narasāvadhāni to give you Thotukura. I will carry you to their house. If Narasāvadhāni will not oblige, you should not insist about that matter." Sripada agreed to that. Next morning, Bapa Narayalu carried Sripada to the house of Narasāvadhāni. Bapa Narayalu told Sripada that children should respect elders and ask for their blessings. Sripada agreed. Narasāvadhāni sat on the veranda of his house. He was having a shikha on his head. A barber just came there and he was trying to shave Narasāvadhāni. Sripada, who was sitting on the shoulders of his grandfather, saw Narasāvadhāni and saluted him with folded hands. Narasāvadhāni was taken aback at the sudden happening. Shripada's penetrating looks fell on the shikha on the head of Narasāvadhāni. Automatically, the shikha of Narasāvadhāni fell down. He was confused and did not understand how his shikha fell down. Then Shripada said to his grandfather, "Grandpa, the shikha at the top of Narasāvadhāni's head was very dear to me. Now it fell down on its own. It will not be nice for me to now ask him for Thotukura, which is very much loved by him. Why should I subject him to more misery when he is already having intense sorrow? Let's go to our house." After that, Shripada never asked for Thotukura. Narasāvadhāni came to know the pretense behind Shripada joining his hands in reverence to him. When Narasāvadhāni sat in meditation, a bright person closely resembling him came out of him. Narasāvadhāni asked him who he was and where he was going. That bright person said, "I am the Punya Sharira inside your body. You have recited Veda numerous times so far. You worship the self manifested Datta. When that very Datta incarnated as Srivallabha, you insulted him. If you had at least one in 10,000 degree of the love and affection you harbor for your Thotukura and Shika towards Sripada, your birth would have been redeemed. Destruction of infatuation is liberation. You are shackled by the bonds of infatuation. You are going to face penury very shortly. To avoid it, Sripada desired to take a donation of vegetables from you. Had you offered him Thotukura as requested, the impending poverty would have been neutralized. Not only that, you would have been granted with wealth. You have spoiled such an opportunity on your own. Even then, Sripada is an ocean of mercy. He is going to conceal his present incarnation and will take another incarnation. At that time, you will take birth as a poor Brahmin. You will grow Totukura in your house even then. At the appropriate time, I will re enter your body. Afterwards, Sripada will visit your house and eat the curry of Thotukura cooked and served with love. He will grant you riches. I am, however, leaving you for the present. The salutation of Sripada was not intended for you. It was a command to me, an embodiment of your merit to leave you and merge with him. As you received the salutation of Sripada, you lost the merit personified in my form residing in you. Only the personified sin remained in you. Saying so, the Punya Purush merged in Sripada. From that time onwards, the living conditions of Narasāvadhāni deteriorated. No one cared for his word. The luster that was in his body disappeared. Cholera spread in Pitikapuram. Many people were dying. Doctors concluded that due to the pollution of the water, bacteria was growing and it was responsible for the spread of the epidemic. Fear stricken people prayed to Papanaria to save them from the dreadful disease and to find out the ways prescribed by scriptures in the interest of the people. They requested him to take suitable steps immediately. Sri Bapanaryalu viewed the problem with his inner sight. He found out that the disease was caused by the pollution in the airy hemisphere and not due to the pollution of water. The doctors bluntly said that the statement of Bapanaryalu was against the tenets of medical science and therefore it was not acceptable. People were performing various pujas to the village goddess and offering many animal sacrifices to appease her. When an animal is killed, its life force would be forcibly released. By chanting of mantras, that life force would come under the control of the person offering the animal sacrifice. Bapanaralu stated that many yogic practices were available for increasing the pranic force and that many sattvic ways of worship existed, and sattvic modes of worship were to be adopted to propitiate the village goddess. In spite of that advice, people did not stop offering animal sacrifice. Some persons who had faith in Sripashivala and his divine actions asked Sripada about this matter. Then Sri Charan told them that he ordered the village goddess not to ask for animal sacrifice and that she went to the seaside for a bath and that by offering milk pudding, goddess Kali would be pacified. He directed that the information would should be widely made known to the people of the village and the nearby villages through a proclamation by the beat of a tom tom on a leather drum. When asked who should be employed for the purpose, Sripada told them that Venkaya, who was suffering from cholera, was to be selected for the job, and he must be told that it was his command. The faithful devotees of Sri Vallabh went to Venkaya. Venkaya was nearing death. When the command of Sripada was conveyed, he fainted. After a ghadiya, he became normal and regained complete health. This news created a wide discussion in Pitikapuram. The proclamation by the beat of tom tom was made by Venkaya. Bapanarya wanted a big vessel filled with water to be placed in his presence. He chanted some mantras capable of destroying the poisonous creatures. Those poisonous worms from the airy region fell into the watery vessel, making a fluttering sound. The impurity in the airy region was eliminated. The dreadful disease left Pitikapuram. On Ganesh Chaturthi, which happened to be the birthday of Sripad Raja Sharma, along with his wife, took Sripada to the house of Bapanarya. Whenever Sri Bapanarya tried to observe the lotus feet of Sripada to see the auspicious signs, his eyes were dazzled with very brilliant lights. So he could not see the auspicious signs of Sri Mahavishnu. This was rather puzzling for him. On that day, in the early morning, Bapanarya saw a divine footprints on the husk extracted from the pounded rice. Papanarya asked his daughter Sumati, Amma, who had gone this way? Sumati replied, Who else? Your beloved grandson went this way. Those footprints appeared to belong to a boy of 16 years. The grandfather took Srivallabha into his lap and observed his Sri Charana. Then the dazzling lights that were appearing before his eyes previously were not to be seen. The divine feature, declaring that he was really the incarnation of Lord Datta, appeared before him. He kissed the divine Sri Charanams and decided that the boy was verily Lord Datta. Then some words were uttered from the mouth of Bapanarya effortlessly. There was no need for their grammatical correctness or for their flawless prosody. Sripada silently wiped the tears that trickled from the eyes of his grandfather. He said, "Grandfather, you attracted the vital force from the sun and transferred it to the Mallikarjun Shivalinga in Srishaila. At the same time, the vital force from the sun was attracted toward the Mahabaleshwar in the Gokarna and the self-manifested Datta in the Padagaya Kshetra. I decided to charge the Gokarna Kshetra with much more energy. My intention was to liquidate the undesirable vibrations of the people in Mahabaleshwar into the Atmalinga of Parmeshwara and transmit good vibrations to those who surrender to me. In the same way, I want to make the Sri Shaila Mallikarjuna Lingam also very powerful as it gives liberation by mere sight. You are a truthful sage. You decided that I would not be short lived because my mother had saluted my feet. I said that as my mother had prostrated on my feet in the form of Shivallabh, I would live for a short span. To avoid conflict between our words, I intend to live in your house for only 16 years. I have to grace the spiritual aspirants who desire liberation from the worldly bonds. You want that I should live forever. I would fulfill that also. This magnificent divine shape bearing the name Sripada would be concealed. Even after the advent of Narasimha Saraswati, this Sripada form would stand as an eternal reality. After incarnating as Narasimha Saraswati, I would be in penance in Kardali forest for 300 years. Afterwards, I take shape as Swami Samartha in Prajnapur and transform my life force into a people tree and merge in the Shivalinga at Sri Shailya. Papanarya regarded all this with wonder and astonishment. The first birthday celebration of Sripada was held very grandly in his grandfather's house. A strange thing happened that day in Pitikapura. When Narasāvadhāni, the priest, and some others went to Sri Kukuteshwar temple in the morning, they found the idol of self-manifested Datta missing. The news of the disappearance of the idol spread like wildfire in the village. A tantric who was jealous of Narasvadhani undertook propaganda that Narasvadhani, who was cultivating evil practices, was the one who caused the disappearance of the idol. Then the Brahmin community of Pitikapuram resolved to thoroughly research the house of Narasvadhani. When asked, Bapanarya said that truth will come out in due course of time and that he felt silence was more appropriate at that time. He also added that he would speak at an opportune time. When some portion in the house of Narasvadhani were dug out, human skulls and some articles connected with evil rituals were found. Even though Narasvadhani was innocent, he was stamped as a practitioner of witchcraft and evil worship. His health was going down day after day. There was a barren cow in his house. It was also treated as an ox and used for agricultural activities. Narasvadhani did not feed it properly. The tantric introduced an evil spirit into that cow. It broke its teeth and became wild. It pricked the inmates of the house with its horns and destroyed the Thotukura garden developed with love by his master. No one could find it with a rope. It was the day of the annual ceremony of Naraswadhani's mother's death. Gurries and some more victuals were prepared sumptuously. That cow ate the preparation in the cooking place of the house of Naraswadhani. The guests of the ceremony finished their meals by that time, but the housemaids had not yet eaten. Sripada was compelling his father, Radha Sharma, that they should go to the house of Naraswadhani. Radha Sharma took Sripada with him and stood in front of the house of Naraswadhani. In the meanwhile, the cow of Naraswadhani came out. Sripada asked his father to keep him on the ground. The cow went around Sripada thrice and afterwards it prostrated before the holy feet of Sripada and died. This incident was commented upon by the people of Pitikapura in various ways. They narrated that poison was mixed inadvertently in the gerries. The holy guests of the ceremony were luckily saved, but the cow died of the poison. It was also heard that Naraswadhani would be guilty of killing a cow and that the sin would affect him. These comments were causing a lot of anguish to Naraswadhani. As the cow circumambulated Sripada and died, many people considered that Sri Charan possessed extraordinary divine qualities. As Radha Sharma was having some knowledge of Ayurvedic medicine, he was treating Naraswadhani on his request. Whenever Radha Sharma was going to the house of Naraswadhani, Sripada was also going with him. In spite of the greatness of Raja Sharma as a physician, the health of Naraswadhani deteriorated further. One day, Naraswadhani died. Rumors, false propaganda, attempts at twisting untruth as truth, and vice versa were very much rampant in Pitikapura. Radha Sharma gave medicine with good intention, but his endeavor did not succeed. After all, birth and death are under the control of God. Some people thought that Naraswadhani died on account of a tantric application by a tantric. Some others thought that Raja Sharma did not treat Naraswadhani properly due to animosity and that he would have lived it treated by another doctor. Some others opined that it was unreasonable to regard Sripada Srivallabha as an incarnation of Datta because Naraswadhani died in spite of the daily visits by Srivallabha to Naraswadhani's house of. Hence, Sripada was an ordinary boy. That was how some people thought about the matter. It was also resolved that as a cow died from poison, Naraswadhani also died from the terrible sin of killing a cow, and that some more corpses would go to the burial ground from that house. It was suggested that for the removal of the sin of a cow killing, the following measures were to be taken. Liberal donations should be given to the Brahmins, a golden idol of a cow should be donated to the Brahmins, propitiatory sacrifices should be conducted for 40 days, and free meals should be served to the Brahmins every day during the period of sacrifices. These were measures for removing the sin of killing a cow. To organize all the above program, the entire property of Naraswadhani had to be sold. This matter was also like a thunderbolt to the family of Naraswadhani. The corpse of Naraswadhani was carried to the burial ground for the funeral. Radha Sharma, Shripada, and Shribapanarya consoled the family members of Naraswadhani. The wife of Naraswadhani held the hands of Shripada and wept. Shripada, I was going to Parenthums at any distance with a pinch of turmeric and kumkum for the blessing of martial longevity. If you are Datta, is it impossible for you to revive your Tatta? Shripada, with an ambrosial heart, wiped her tears with his divine hands and remained silent. The funeral procession started. Raja Sharma, Shripada, and Sri Bapanarya, all of them participated in the funeral procession. The eldest son of Naraswadhani was trying to light the funeral pyre. Two drops of tears from the eyes of Shripada fell on the ground. With a thundering sound, Shripada said, Oh, I saw a son lighting the pyre of a dead father, but I have not seen a son lighting the fire of a living father. Then all people there looked at him with astonishment. Sripada slowly touched with his thumb the center point of the eyebrows of Narasāvadhāni on the pyre and again touched his own center of the eyebrows. Narasāvadhāni was slowly regaining consciousness. Narasāvadhāni returned home in a joyful procession with all those who followed his corpse in the funeral procession. As Sripada touched the center point of his eyebrows, Narasāvadhāni realized the subtle secrets of the principle of karma. He understood that the barren cow in his house was his mother and an old ox in his house was his father. Since both of them ill treated his paternal grandmother in her old age, they took such low births and labored for him in a servile manner. It was also clearly envisioned by him that the mother cow, while dying, requested Sripada to drink its milk, and for that Sripada assured that he would drink its milk in the next birth when it would be born as a barren cow. Narasvadhani also began to grasp the particular details of the subtle worlds. For instance, it became clear to him that the tantric who harmed him with the tantric application would die soon and that he would become a Brahmanic fiend in the next birth and that Sri Charna, as an ascetic, would show mercy on him then. He also knew that in the next life he would also be favored by Shripada in the guise of an ascetic with abundant wealth. Then Sricharan would eat the preparation made from Thotukara and would uproot the creepers of this green leafy vegetable with his own hands and would grant vessels filled with gold coins. Naraspadhani saw the future very clearly. The sportive plays of Sripada Srivallabha were unprecedented and uncomparable. I will let you know tomorrow the benevolent advice of Srivallabha to Naraswadhani and his wife and the way in which he showed mercy on them. Let us remember the name of Sripada Srivallabha and spend some time in bhajan program. Let us sing his name in a melodious chorus. Sri Charan moves in a subtle form in a place where his divine name is chanted. This is a literal truth. I was immediately pleased and excited because I got associated with such a great devotee as Tirumala Das. Victory unto Sri Sripad Srivallabha. Sripad Rajam Sharanam Prabhate.